again, man.
You're not again.
It went well for them last game, I'll give them that. But it did. I remember they were having a really rough time with the Dark Willow. Well, not. It wasn't really entirely on her, but like they were struggling for a long time until they're like.
They had a Mars, right?
Yeah, they did, and
But
it
this
was
time
nice.
they don't have a Mars, which I think makes Willow's stock go down quite a lot.
Yeah, I also reached out to my friend this time so I can actually give you the
Oh yeah,
reasoning.
yeah. I was actually gonna ask. I was like, please give us your Dark Willow spiel again.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we got new content this time.
My man's Juki says that they added a fade time to Shadow Realm, and because the shards got moved to 15 minutes, it means that they kind of nerfed her shard in response because it was like pretty good before, so it no longer has like the lower cooldown. She also sucks at pushing waves, so she doesn't really give that either.
True.
Overall, he just feels like the hero's really weak right now, and I haven't seen it look good this patch, like when it's been picked. Like, yeah, it was
Apart
nice
from that one time that it was picked with
with-
Mars.
I like the fear with the arena is always gonna be a thing, but like the hero on her own, I don't see her and think, man, she's popping off right now. Like she's like way stronger last patch.
Yeah.
Willow always looks good when she is strong enough to like get solo kills on the map.
Right.
But when she doesn't have like that damage, she's not really that good of a team. The fear isn't really a super good team fight spell. It's some control, but usually they just, run away and reset. And that's why you need the Mars to place for that. But
Are either of you willing to take a stab in the dark as to why you feel they probably picked it up here for Polaris? Without the Mars especially?
If it's something that their player really likes and he's comfortable in, then I could just see him asking for it.
Okay.
people just pick it so far as a response to TA. I've seen it a couple times now.
Yeah.
Because the ult like does a bunch of instances of damage to remove a fraction, or is it because
No, I just think TA's known for two-shotting supports, and Willow is very hard to kill
Also
for a
true.
TA.
That's true. But now there's a little fade time. I don't know. Maybe it's like just slightly enough to kind of like get bonked.
Depends on the reaction time of the Willow, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we will see it play out when the game does come underway, but Fnatic picking up Tide.
We should hype up more the Natsumi Nature's Prophet carry. That's very exciting. Love that.
Sure.
He was so good on it last time. It was really exciting to see.
It was when you were here last week or whatever, Fear, I think, as well.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah. It was he fed, but
I was gonna say I only remember because I remember you saying
the
he
enemy
fed
racer
early game and then he came online.
yeah, the enemy racer just fed harder, so
But the thing that made it look really nice though was that Force was playing Mars, and he was able to kind of like go around the map and set up kills with his spear. Like he had a lot of things to play around on the Mars, like between the Snapfire ult with his arena and like the Nature's Prophet being able to teleport. Like they were kind of like really taking advantage of that and being everywhere on the map and being constantly threatening. Right now, I don't see that sort of setup for Polaris, and I would really like to see it covered on this last pick. Sand King is still in the pool. I would like maybe to see that, unless Fnatic are going to ban it here.
they don't have a
Rest in
repel
peace.
target. I honestly still want to see Huskar and just throw
It's
this
banned.
Pango off
Banned
lane.
now.
Alright, GG, they banned it
GG.
themselves.
Yeah,
They don't I mean, are you gonna repel your NP? Like that seems underwhelming.
maybe just to keep him safe, you know.
Underwhelming. Because like I don't know, I have a few things to say. Like I guess they picked NP here. It has nothing to do with this last pick. I have no idea what they're gonna pick.
There's a potential they just take a mid and throw the Pango off lane. I would not be like super opposed to it. Although I do love a Lelouch Pango.
So you really have no inkling at all.
I mean, I want to see them pick Razor still
Okay.
as a
But
carry,
Necrophos.
but that's just me. I
That's
don't think
true
they'll
still.
do it. They're just gonna pick some boring Void Spirit because
That's okay.
'cause
We've
they're
seen
boring.
Void like twice this week, and each time we've seen it, you guys always start it and describe it with boring.
That's because the hero is
Mm,
really
it's
good.
just a
Boring.
st-
Boring.
Yeah,
Ugh, don't want to see it.
just a
Boring.
staple mid hero. It's like you want to see something exciting in that mid lane, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want to see Void Spirit for
But
the
you never
100th
see
time.
boring when we see like Storm or something.
Because I feel like Storm is definitely more fun to watch than
Yeah,
Void Spirit.
I agree. He does the big zips from across the map. He's like, I don't know. Void is like, oh, to jump in and use the remnant, and then I jump in the ground, and then I come up, and then I kill you, and I leave. It's like, oh, whatever.
It's just a very safe pick where there's
Yeah.
some volatility with Storm Spirit. Like, did he not, use his mana correctly? I think it's a lot higher skill to play Storm than Void Spirit.
Okay.
So that's why I like watching it more, personally. And that means it's Pango off, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Kunkka mid, classic counter to the Void Spirit. Sometimes you bring the Orchid build up.
Mhm.
But other than that, Armel should have an easy mid lane, I think.
Alrighty, well, I want to bring in Lyrical and GoDz and get some of their thoughts. Actually, first of all, GoDz, hi. We haven't seen you on stream for a little while. It's great to see Fear didn't actually murder you. How are you feeling and how do you like the draft?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for this matchup. I think we're looking at two pretty fast-paced drafts, like no super greedy carries. Both teams want to push the tempo, so excited to see kind of how that kind of matches up.
And I'll return the favor of a wave. Hi, Lyrical, how are you? And thoughts on draft?
I love it. You know, Kunkka and Tidehunter together, they're putting aside their differences to beat down Polaris. That's what you love to see. That you weren't looking for insight, right? I was just
No.
It's fine.
Just wanted generic comments. That's what I love. I'm going to have two questions then. Who do you think's taking game one, and how many deaths do you think the Dark World is going to have?
I'm just not going to answer either of those in favor of saying, man, God, you're looking so fly with that turned back cap, man. You've de-aged like 10 years.
You've de-aged?
Yeah.
You've
He's
de-aged?
got the fellow
De-aged.
kids look.
I don't think that's even a word.
You look cool as hell.
I'm doing my Ash Ketchum impersonation
Oh,
today.
hell yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you to do at least the game favor.
Go ahead, Fear.
Me? How many
Yeah.
deaths is Dark World?
Game,
no,
just
game,
the game.
who's
Who's
gonna
going to win
win?
game?
I mean, there's two questions. Okay, so who's going to win the game?
Yeah.
It's Fnatic, and
I
Dark
guess
Willow's going to
Fnatic.
have 7 deaths.
I guess she's going to have 7 deaths.
All right.
Yeah.
They're exactly the same. So we're going to head into game one. I'll leave you both with the exact same question as well.
Thank you so much, Nat. I don't really have a question on that. I just wanted to go back to roasting you a little bit for the hat. It looks wonderful, though. The Ash Ketchum was a good call out there.
I'm going to be honest. I stole that one from Twitch chat. I wore it once. I can't remember, like 3 or 4 months ago, and people were like,
Okay.
this looks like Ash Ketchum, except he like aged poorly, like 20 years older. And I was
Oh
like,
no!
it was just the funniest shit I'd ever read in Twitch chat. So I'm like, I'm gonna wear this hat again just in the hopes that I get that, those roasts happening. So please, Twitch chat, come up with your best roast. I'm ready for it.
This is good. You know, this is where all the best casters get their best lines from. You know, you just read Twitch chat, you repeat it later on. This is what I want to do. You know, this is the way to be. Well, holy moly, man, we've got ourselves a great game coming up here. Fnatic facing off against Polaris. The panel was talking a little bit about like the trajectory of these two teams, and I think it's something that's worth thinking about a little bit. Fnatic, they come in undefeated. Polaris, they struggled a lot after that Boom series, and now after the Execration one, I felt like at the end of it they had a little bit of like a resurgence and things were looking a little bit better. But I want to see if they can keep it up against Fnatic.
Yeah, I feel like Polaris is kind of, in some ways, it's the same old story where there's just a bit of inconsistency. They'll have their moments where they look great against the tier 1 teams in their region, and then, they'll fall flat elsewhere. So they need to bring their A game here. There's still a non-zero chance that they could make it to the major, but it's gonna come from getting wins against top teams like Fnatic now.
Absolutely. And already off to the races. Does look like it's going to be 2 bounty runes apiece, as we've seen a couple times, and that is a horrifying image of Faceless Void there. As we take a look on over towards the mid. And yeah, I think one of the players that really stood out to me in that series that I was talking about was Lelouch, because it felt like in game 1 he had like a really solid performance, and then like, it looked like there might have been some frustration, and then the team rallied around him. In those last 2 games, he looked so solid. So I want to see if he can come together with a good Void Spirit performance here, but facing off against the Kunkka could be a little bit tough.
Yeah, definitely a tough matchup, and I think Kunkka is just so annoying because most mid players like playing Void Spirit against these squishy heroes that they can go on and kill. Void Spirit's just like a good backline jumper, and Kunkka is just going to be sitting in the front lines with a BKB, double bracer, super tanky. Your other cores, Tidehunter and TA, also very tanky, hard to kill. So I feel like Void Spirit isn't going to get that fun mid game where you can just make plays all over the place, find easy kills, because of how durable these Fnatic cores are.
Right, and maybe instead the option that we see Polaris go for is going to be trying to play around Natsumi, maybe making some rotations in towards mid and taking the tower or something like that. Like that's, oh, wait, already down bottom, going for that first blood, getting the kill. Not a bad way to start it.
Yep, TP's back to the tower, so yeah, Xavius has a salve for Force, so they're going to be able to stay in this lane as well. So that's a really nice start for the Pengo. Typically, the Pengo for Polaris has been played in that mid lane, but busting it out in the off lane here for Force since he doesn't get his Mars. And it's another hero he's very comfortable in. He's played a lot of it, even though they do often run at mid. So I feel like this is just a guy who excels on these blink initiating type heroes, and Pengo, he fits the bill.
Yeah, get on in there, make some action happen. You'll love to see it. At least so far in the mid lane, it's not looking too bad for Lelouch. Does get the bottle brought out to him, and now is going to try and get all these CS under tower, while Kunkka able to pick up one of the water runes, and actually is going to maybe make the move all the way over and take the other one away. So no bottle refill for the Void Spirit.
Yeah, maybe Lelouch is thinking Armel's not going to go for these runes, because Armel didn't rush bottle. He actually finished a bracer. He's going for these early stats, survivability. That's just how, I guess, easy this matchup is for Kunkka. The fact you don't have to rush any bottle and refill with runes. Like, this is a good matchup for Kunkka. And for Void Spirit, he's just happy to be trading farm. And he's going to constantly get harassed. He's going to be on the back foot. But as long as he doesn't die here, you know, Lelouch can walk away and make some plays in these side lanes around the rune timings.
It does feel like that's something that we've seen a big move towards, is like offlaners getting urns, and then, you know, other heroes just picking up stats wherever they can get them, and even bringing out that second bracer for him. As you can see, DJ getting chased away a little bit here by Mavis. Already has 1 point up in that Hammer of Purity, and keeping the pressure on. It's going to do a good chunk of damage to the Rubik, forcing him to use the telekinesis and then salve up.
Yeah, very nicely done. Omni, yeah, some new changes with the new hammer, but showing that not the weakest of laners necessarily. This top lane, I guess it's nice you're playing with. You typically want to run Omni with these ranged cores, and Nature's Prophet, pretty self-sustainable. Omni Knight can go just play the pulls, stack some camps if you want, because Nature's Prophet doesn't need all that help.
So far, so good. The main heroes that are kind of struggling a little bit are the side laners for Polaris. You can see Nature's Prophet and the Pango a little bit behind. But again, not the worst thing in the world for them at this point in time. And some of those might be trance as well on Jay, potentially. And blocking off the camps as well. That was within range of the sentry, so that one might get taken away. And thinking about TPing in there, actually. Decided not to go for it. As water runes stolen out, and back on over to their lanes.
Yep, they got the ancient stack off. Looks like Armel going for like full early game build. No, I mean every Kunkka builds early game, but he's not going for the bottle. He rushed double bracer raindrop, so he's just ungankable, unkillable. He's going to get just faster phase boots and be a lot stronger, I think, in this early game compared to the bottle, because bottle, you know, you're spending 600, 700 gold for basically sustain, and it doesn't actually make you stronger to team fight. So I like this from Armel, just a cool kind of variation to the Kunkka mid.
Anyway, taking some punches there from Xavius. Yeah, and I think that it also means you can maybe go for one of those bigger items after the phase boots as well for Armel. See if he decides to go for that or not. But,
yeah, I'm wondering if this is just going to be like typical BKB rush. Maybe there's an armlet. Maybe there's telekinesis. Yeah, gets the block.
Well done. Yeah, and the hard camp blocked off as well. I mean, this is what consistently Polaris were doing to other teams, and now they're trying to, you know, come on in there and contest the stacks, but we'll have to pop the Heavenly Grace, 2 points in it. Keeps him fairly tanky, has 7 stick charges, and he's actually just going to be able to walk away from that one. Takes a lot of damage, but it's going to be fine.
All that extra strength just keeps him alive, so nice little play from Mavis. Armel, don't mind the rotation. Like, you know, he had a potential kill and doesn't really miss much on the mid lane. He's got a lot of, you know, jungle camps he can also fall back to farm. It is really this just big farm more in the mid lane. But Lelouch about to hit level 6 means there is that rotation potential. More so for Lelouch to rotate to these side lanes, where bottom lane, a lot of action is on breaking out.
And Natsumi's already there, trying to chase down a couple of them. Turns and punches.
Whoa.
And that's just back away now. I'm not sure what he was exactly hitting. It looked like he was punching the catapult and ended up not being able to go onto Raven. So the turn over to the side, forced in some trouble. Has no swashbuckle in a second. Actually tosses it out from the grave, but it won't be enough. So this rotation not getting what they want. And in the meantime, Jabs is pressuring top.
Yeah, Jabs gets a free lane for a little bit. Yeah, Natsumi TP's back up here, but now you're dealing with this level 5 Tide. Similarly, just going for these early game stats, these braces. Not done bottom though. Weaver's still poking around, not going to get the kill. He's fine. But yeah, Jabs just feels unkillable in this top lane. This Tide Hunter into NP. This was like the ultimate NP counter back in the day when NP was like the top meta pick for the off lane or even safe lane. So I feel like he's going to just cause all kinds of problems in this lane now that he's got off to a good start.
A good decision as well. You can see there the back away Natsumi caught eyes on Armel, or maybe just recognized that he's making that rotation, and they weren't able to connect for a kill. So good dodge, but you can see a slight lead now being gained by Fnatic. And again, you talked about like the strength of these incredibly tanky heroes. I'm not sure where exactly Lelouch goes to look for a kill, and in fact, they're just going to find Mavis again. So this time, it does look like he's going to fall. And that's phase boots completed for Armel. Everything looking good for Fnatic right now, winning all 3 lanes.
This is dream start, and for a game where both teams have gone for a very like momentum-based draft, like no one's picking any kind of a greedy carry. Players have kind of gone away from the early tour Polaris, where it was like a lot of 4 protect 1, stack your ancients, play some Medusa strats. This fast pace, going back to this Natsumi Nature's Prophet, means they are looking to match this tempo, but Nature's Prophet, you know, as good as he is at, you know, setting the tempo, pushing towers, taking objectives, doesn't deal well when the opposing team is the one doing that. So we're going to see Fnatic, I think, defend all the towers. Tidehunter's just going to plop himself, use it, basically be a body to defend any kind of push, and that's going to cause problems for Polaris, who can't execute their strat.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about like the way that Jab's playing right now. He actually doesn't even have Ravage skilled. Opting instead to just hang on to that point and keep on farming up and gonna take this tower. So NP draft losing the first tower, not what they want necessarily. They were threatening to go down bottom, but it looks like again, Jabs will get that one for free. And I mean, it's just jungling Nature's Prophet right now. Like they need to wait for the first items, I guess.
Yeah, I think bottom lane has got to be where you make the play. Like that rotation earlier, I like it from Polaris. It's what they need to be doing. Raven's just a hard kill with the refraction, and he's just a very smart carry play. He knows kind of how far to push his limit, how long he can stay in this lane, and there's just not the best rotation potential until they maybe get some kind of a big rune on Lelouch, or they commit a lot of heroes. At some point, players are probably just going to have to commit like 4 heroes to this bot tier 1 tower.
Oh, and speaking of which, they're all running down there right now. Armel cleared out the ancient stack, but there are 4 heroes going bottom, and afterwards TP right on top of Januel, who is going to Sakuchi his way out of there. But as you can see, there's a glyph ready, and I mean, Fnatic, I don't know if they want to contest this. It looks like Januel is going to potentially go down there, just ends up dropping, and they might need to cancel that TP, in fact. So, wait, they're coming in with more?
No, they're all canceling.
Yeah.
I think that probably the second TP was because they saw, oh, my Kunkka's TPing. If Kunkka TPs, everyone has to TP, because the only way Fnatic defend that is with, basically everyone going. Everyone except TA needs to defend that tower, and I think once Weaver dies, maybe they can defend it by doing like a Kunkka plus Tide TP. The issue is, you TP and Polaris just disengage. You defend the tower, but you're just losing so much farm. They disengage, you get no kills, and it just doesn't feel worth it. So I think for Fnatic, giving up the tower, taking farm outs on the map was the smart decision.
Well, the unfortunate part now is they don't have TPs on Jabs or Armel to come towards mid. So we'll see if Polaris want to push the tempo on this. DJ at the moment is able to hold it solo. But they are still hanging out in this area, and, well, Natsumi not there with them to go for any type of a push. It seems unlikely that they're going to be able to get too much action on it, although maybe with Armel not there, we'll see.
Yeah, his TP in 15 seconds, but Jabs alone, like, he's got a hood now, so realistically, I just don't think they've got the damage to bring down a Tidehunter without committing every single spell, and at that point, maybe you're just over-committing it, calling a Ravage. Everyone else shows up and things can go pretty south. So
he's just holding on to the tower or the catapult lane to get a couple more pot shots off there. Yeah, Jabs isn't afraid of anything. This guy is so enormous right now, but they are going for a smoke, and DJ trying to stack up both camps simultaneously. This should be a nice pickoff for him if they can get it, and actually just walks right into the hit and will be able to get the easy pickoff.
Yep. Expecting maybe TA to be there when they make that move, because Rubik not the biggest that kills. Rubik is just stacking. And Fnatic, they want to punish this.
Dangerous. Looking for it. Jabs still has that Ravage available, but the roll back through misses onto Jabs, and they do not have nearly enough damage to kill this Tidehunter right now.
Now you've got Rolling Thunder on cooldown, so Fnatic could look to make a counterplay. Unfortunately, I mean, they're just not ready to take objectives. That's kind of more relying on Raven's item timing, so I think Fnatic's waiting for that Deso BKB on TA, they're going to have BKB on Kunkka, and then they're going to be able to take Roshan, take whatever towers they want. For now, this is Polaris' time to shine. They're down 2k gold. Fnatic can still make moves. They're smoking up because they can make these rotations to kill heroes, but realistically, it's Polaris who can force these objectives now before Fnatic finish these BKBs. Once BKBs come up, I think Polaris, they're going to be on the back foot again.
Well, they're thinking about going. Don't have TP for NP for a couple more seconds, and yeah, they're just not going to go for it. So it looks like the rotation down bottom. Armel is here. Lelouch heading over to this side of the map. Doesn't spot DJ, but I think DJ was spotted there. And well, now looking for the torrent. Is going to be able to connect. Have the lift up afterwards. This is a really hard kill. They have the taunt and then dissimulate away. No, he got hit by it. Didn't have dissimulate or the step. So we'll finally be able to get out of there. But that was very close. Ooh.
Yeah, if you, I guess, just time that X into boat pack perfectly, he can't actually astral step away, but just not enough damage to bring down Lelouch. They had the raindrops to help bail him out, and it would have been a really nice kill for Fnatic, because this is kind of that stage of the game where they're not looking to take any big team fights or force towers, but they're just looking to farm up these key item timings, so any key kills you can get on a Void Spirit Nature's Prophet are huge. They're trying to go on jabs. Yeah, good luck.
He's not taking any damage
Who's going on who?
Yeah, the Heavenly Grace, and then Lelouch backs away. I mean, again, that was like relatively low cost to go on him, but hard to kill.
Yeah, they committed the Nature's Prophet ultimate, which is a short-ish cooldown, but it was very much like, I wouldn't have even said they're going on him if not for the fact, okay, they're using this ultimate. Like, okay, we think we can maybe kill him if he's a bit out of position, but they very quickly realized how far off they were.
Still no Ravage yet, but there is obviously.
Going to contest these Ancients, but Raven maybe finishing off just in time.
Oh, man. That timing.
Yeah, they put the Observer on that top cliff, and they're going in, but again, it's just the DJ Rubik.
I think dissimulate away? No, he's still in trouble, and they'll be eventually able to find and kill off the Rubik, although he does get a little bit far forward there. And eventually getting away, of course. Getting gone on a little bit by Jabs here. Ravages. Raven mid, gonna go for the kill and finds the finish. Why not?
Yeah, Fnatic almost killed the Nature's Prophet bottom, but yeah, that's a nice kill on the Pengu. It just feels like Polaris' moves, they're the right moves to make. You want to go into those Ancients and try kill this TA. TA is the best hero to gank on the Fnatic side. They're just slightly missing him every single time and finding this DJ Rubik, who's 0-2 now. DJ's probably saying, great, that's, honestly, that's kind of his job at this point in the game. For Januel and DJ, it's just protect your cores, let them farm these BKBs, and I think Polaris are going to be a little bit worried. They're losing the farm game, and they're not taking these objectives. Like, this T1 mid tower is still almost full health. They've only taken that bottom tower, and it's going to be a very scary Fnatic team shortly. Armel has BKB, but it's the TA's BKB where I think things get incredibly scary for Polaris.
Yeah, she's actually on right now, Raven, going for the Deso first, which is a little bit interesting, but again, it's going to allow her to just stay ahead and farm, it feels like, over this NP. I mean, maybe Natsumi's going to start being able to pop off soon with the levels going up and, gain into this Maelstrom as well. It looks like he's got queued up, or the Orchid, actually, instead. We'll see what he decides to go for in the end, but could be a nice window here when those BKBs do eventually come out, and also a Blink Dagger soon to be there for Jabs. But
scary. This Fnatic team fight just starts to look more and more troublesome. There is the Omni Knight, like you can kind of try and counterplay with the GA. My worry is you pop GA so that the TA and Kunkka maybe aren't killing you in that team fight after, like, let's say a Ravage is used. How do you actually kill them, though? I don't think Polaris have enough damage until Natsumi gets another item or two, so this is going to be tricky there. Look at maybe Rolling Thunder mid.
This could be interesting. Do they have enough damage? No, they missed on the second round, but able to get the taunt. The full combo out onto Jabs. He's taken every single spell in the book, but do they have enough to kill him? They don't. He literally just walks away. Where is the follow-up? There is nothing. They dropped everything on him, and he just walked and paddled his way out of there.
It's kind of the story of this game right now. Just not enough damage for a hero like Tidehunter. Typically, it's like, okay, maybe we just ignore him. But Polaris' draft is built around these early to mid-game plays. So wherever they try and make plays, it just feels like Tidehunter is there. So, heads up from Jabs. He's literally just been plopped in this mid lane. Like, this is the off-lane player, and he has been sitting mid defending this T1 tower for, like, the last, I want to say, 5+ minutes. So suddenly Fnatic with this early Deso are in the Roshan pit, but Polaris, they want to at least contest this. They're down Rolling Thunder, though, so this could be a little tricky.
It's going down very quickly, but they do have that blink in from Force as round 2 of this in a moment gets X. Now they do have Heavenly Grace afterwards. Pops off immediately, jump in. A little bit early on Lelouch. Can they do it? Gets vision, down lower, ravages out. Oh, Xavius, he couldn't quite get the fear type, and Raven gets the Aegis before Natsumi can finish it off. Good fear follow-up, but where is the damage? Do they have enough? They actually burn through it. Aegis down. Armel has the X, looking for round 2. Now Xavius is also going to fall, and Lelouch, no more Spirit, but does have a jump away with that Dissimulate. As they roll back and forth, Davis also chased a little bit here. Lelouch looking to escape, and it looks like, at the very least, Fnatic should be able to pressure the tower. Good time lapse.
More.
Jump forward, trying to find a bit. Lelouch trying to get out of there. Ooh, Heavenly Grace keeping him alive just barely. As another Dissimulated a second. Not gonna get out. Not quite in time, but they will find a clip. No! He didn't hit it! Januel can't quite get away, and just one by one. No. A series of unfortunate events, and Polaris just lose them all.
Yeah. Full 5-man wipe there. Though the fight lasted so long, the Willow respawned by the end of it, but just it starts with Fnatic making this kind of heads-up call to go for Roshan. They knew the exact Rolling Thunder was 5 seconds away from coming up when Roshan went down, and Fnatic just they have a feel for it, or they just write down the exact timing and knew exactly when it's coming up. So the only thing that threatens them in the Roshan pit is Rolling Thunder. Polaris were poking, just trying to buy time for it to come off cooldown, and they take that fight because it's the first time in the entire game they actually have a play to make on the TA. Unfortunately, TA is Aegis, so they only kill it once, and then the fight goes to shit. So, you know, I like how Polaris tried to slow down the Roshan, but you could see the TA, when Penga was blinking in, TA just kept hitting Roshan. TA was entirely ignoring that Pangolier because she knew, hey, I've got 10 seconds to finish Roshan and Rolling Thunder's up. If I don't finish it now, things get hairy for us. So just really just great call and heads up play from Raven.
Well, and the timing there as well to like get the Ravage out right before that Terrorize came out. And again, some of that is set up with this great vision that they had in the area from Fnatic. They were seeing absolutely everything going on there. And oh, it's easy to fight when you have good vision and a Tidehunter. That makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, they still got all that vision around the pit undewarded. Not that it's necessarily where these teams are going to stop playing around, but at this point, the scary thing for Polaris is, you know, Nature's Prophet's a little bit like Alchemist Light, where it's this hero that typically you want to have a gold lead. You want to be playing from ahead. It's not a comeback kind of carry, so they've got to start, you know, really scratching their heads and trying to figure out a way back into this game through some impressive team fights. And with Force getting picked off top, you know, it's just getting harder and harder. Split push is always an option with Nature's Prophet, but it doesn't feel good because you're not split pushing for some scary late game.
No, it is just to delay what feels like the inevitable at this point. And you did see down there as well, Terrorize used trying to catch Genuel. They weren't even able to squash the bug on the Weaver. It's some tough stuff. But again, the thing that's so interesting about this is that it's a 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes, only off the back of 9 kills. It feels like Fnatic has just been sort of, they had such a good draft and idea of how they wanted to play this that they haven't even had to like execute things that were particularly, you know, challenging. It's just the draft is so good. Yep.
And this is, I think, some of the issues with Voidspur and why this hero's fallen off as a mid is the hero doesn't farm well.
Lope comes out, the roll in afterwards. They've already lost Xavius. I mean, Force, if he doesn't get out of here soon, he might just go down as well. Although they do have Mavis in the area, so it looks like they're going to try and hold this.
With no Rolling Thunder now, though.
It's tough. I actually don't know how they try and stop this. Jabs, come forward. Yeah, come on, give me a high five.
He can do this because it's the same story as before. He's dropping items. He's dropping his Soul Ring on him. He just knows he's unkillable. Would love to see Force blink in and steal that Soul Ring from the trees. That would make my day, but I don't think it's happening.
And this is the other thing, too. Armel just XTPs back home, and they're ready to go for a round 2 of this if they want.
Yeah. I was about to say, I wonder if they try poke high ground. They don't have the Aegis, but BKBTA, they can take any fight they want. It's just a matter of finding a fight, because I got to imagine at this point, Polaris, they have to embrace the split push. I think it's their best way back in this game, but they're just going to keep getting picked, perhaps. Omni and mid in some trouble.
Mavis down low. Gonna get dropped. Raven there for the finish. And meanwhile, Armel moves on in. They've got another creep wave in a second, but they also get the X. Lush assimilate. Able to escape.
And out of tower. Natsumi's embraced the let's dodge the enemy. He's farming the enemy Ancients. Not exactly split pushing. I guess, you know, there isn't that much catch. I think I'd like to see him also try and push out some of these side lanes, but he's got 4k gold. He's trying to find out what to buy. I don't think this Orchid actually helps all that much. It's not a split pushing item, not the best against all these BKBs, but what is the better item? I'm not sure. He switches to a Silver Edge now, so I think he's realizing that the Orchid is not the pickup.
Yeah, I mean, it feels incredibly desperate at this point, and I'm not sure if...
Oh, they found Natsumi.
Oh, no, Natsumi, not like this. He does have another TP afterwards, trying to escape, but the lift is there, and eventually they find and kill the NP.
The TA traps on the camp, that's how they knew he was there. They had the TA trap, so they see the camp going down, and they're like, oh, okay, let's go kill this guy. Very smart call. TA traps just being planted on these camps to scout enemies when they're farming is some heads-up stuff. And now they even they put the ward. They put the ward of their own Ancients to scout this Nature's Prophet now. Oh, I love it.
This is some next level, like, oppressive gameplay, right? Like, you're playing so good that you're practicing and building strats for when you're 13k ahead. How you catch them and like shut down their game completely. Very cool stuff.
At this point, Fnatic can just do whatever they want. They're doing all of this without an Aegis. Obviously, they got the first one, but it was instantly used. Second Aegis could be a lot more straightforward for them, and that's, you know, going to come with that free shard as well. So I think that's Polaris' last hope to claw their way back in this game, is some kind of amazing Roche contest with Rolling Thunder in the pit bouncing off the walls, but it's just so tricky to do that. You've got to catch these heroes before they BKB. Like, if TA gets BKB off, she can just kill the Pengo even in Rolling Thunder. He's an 1100 health Pangolier. He's not tanky.
Yeah. Well, in a smoke up now, they're hoping to find somebody farming, and Raven is down here. I mean, again, like you said, though, and he's gone. Okay, never mind. That would have been, I feel like, still almost impossible kill to get, because you have to chain stun, and between them, they've got, like, you know, 2 or 3 stuns, and 2 of those are ultis.
Yep. It's just,
rough.
They're all in on Force carrying this game with some crazy Rolling Thunder chain stuns. But he just said that he's got the Yules queued up, so I like that, because, yeah, he is their stun, and him getting some chain stuns off is going to be crucial. Same time, we may see some kind of Fnatic response, some Force Staffs or something to maybe try and counter it. But I don't even think Fnatic have to be too worried. They're just going to go for some typical itemization.
Natsumi did decide to go back afterwards for the BKB completed.
Okay.
So just making sure that he can at least get some punches off, which, you know, seems reasonable.
Yeah.
And trying to queue into the Chrysalis afterwards, or just trying to finish off the Shadow Blades. We'll see.
Very much no item feels good kind of game.
Oh no. They find him afterwards with DJ. Doesn't have Blink. Can't get there.
Yeah, even that, I mean, the BKB, it's very like, why go BKB against TA Kunkka? Like, all this physical damage is an AC on Kunkka, but at the same time, he's just going to have to be able to stand his ground and get some right-click damage off against Ravage and Telekinesis, Torrent, so don't blame him, but I think for Natsumi, yeah, he needs the BKB plus the damage items now to stand a chance of being a carry in these team fights.
Oh, wow. So yeah, Armel on top of the AC gets the level 20 Tidebreaker cleave talent, so he is hitting incredibly hard this game. Looking for an opening. They have vision. They see absolutely all of this. Avis, does he drop anything? Jump forward. Raven gets the kill and then gets pulled out. Oh, yikes.
They're just having their way right now. This feels like one of those games where Fnatic is just kind of in cruise control. They're, ooh, okay. Pangolier, he'll survive through it.
Yeah, cruise control definitely feels like the appropriate verbiage there. And Jabs also has an Aghanim Scepter done now, so this Roche is going to go down so quickly, and nobody obviously anywhere near being able to come into the test, as you mentioned.
Yeah. All right, we need a new last-ditch play. The high ground defense now. Okay, so it's not the Rolling Thunder in the pit. The next thing we turn to is the high ground defense. Try and push against Rolling Thunder, bouncing between, you know, the entrance to the ramp entrance. It's the perfect place to chain some people.
Man,
that's all I've got.
I love the way that like they've sort of just prepped for everything, and they're like, you know, they've got the nullifier ready on TA for the GA defense. It's all there. And I wonder if they're going to do the play again with the X, and then Raven just jumps in and tries to murk somebody. That was pretty cool. For it.
Oh.
Big ravage onto everybody. Oh no, Raven finds both. Now trying to get out of there. Force hoping to escape. The X, the pullback. Mavis is dead. Your buildings are gone. Didn't stand a chance.
I wouldn't blame them if they just early GG out. I'm gonna be totally honest here. I think we're not far away from it. Fnatic, I mean, they'll go get mid racks now. They can't get bottom, but they'll just have to, you know, take 2 or 3 minutes to push out the entire bottom wave. We'll see if there's any defense here. If you're using buybacks to defend, I don't think you're killing anyone, so it's not even worth committing these buybacks, really. No, I guess you're just saying, you know, well, let's go down 4 racks. It's not mega creeps.
There you go. I mean, still 3.5 minutes left on Aegis. The call is for tier 4s. I think they're actually ready to move on potentially. No, they're not doing it. Yeah. Oh, Fnatic, always so disciplined.
This is one of those big series that really could determine, you know, second, third. I mean, Fnatic still hasn't lost this series, but Polaris, they're 3-2. They still have to play Neon Esports, who's one of the weaker teams in Division 1. If they win this series, they're probably going to the major with a 5-2 record. For Fnatic, you know, they just got to get 2-3 more wins and they're going to the major. So every series matters so much. Teams are always going to play this very disciplined style of Dota. As for Polaris, you can't play safe. You can't play disciplined. You got to go make some YOLO stuff happen. They're smoking out because they know this is their only hope. Problem is, Jabs is there, X'd up, pops the smoke, and back to safety. Not that, even if he wasn't X'd, I don't think he was in any danger, so no.
Oh,
no, Raven,
the blink out! Dude, and now Force is like, oh no, where do I go now? Dude, what a reaction.
Yep. They tipping him at everything.
Wild. And now the X. The big squad comes on in. DJ with the Willow ultimate stolen. They find another kill onto her. Now trying to chase. Force hoping to escape. Has the Yules, has a blink. They're going to give up on the chase and instead just get buildings. They can't run away, those buildings.
I gotta say, respect to Polaris. I thought there's like one last, you know, Hail Mary play left. And that Hail Mary doesn't happen, and then they go into the next. They feel like there's like 4 or 5. So they're playing for every last Hail Mary. And Fnatic just like, at no point are they showing any signs of slipping here. This is like pure discipline, very methodical, robotic kind of Dota coming out from Fnatic with a bit of, you know, flair as well at times, but very well executed drops.
Every now and then you got to drop an item. That's the flair.
Yeah,
exactly. Jump in, Raven. Turn now. TA out. Nullifier ready. They are going to blow him up rather quickly. Although Raven dropping a little bit low. Okay. I do not think it is going to matter at all. BKB, one huge hit from the Tidebringer. Almost one-shots Mavis. Armel turns now onto the NP. Jab still barely able to live through all of this somehow. Yet to die in this game. 3-0 and 14.
Oh, he dies!
Oh, we finally go down.
The Nature's Prophet ultimate got him.
Big play. Although Fnatic, I don't know if they really care.
Although
they get to Armel as well. Okay. They just ignored Raven, but that might come back to bite him as Raven looking to chase him down one by one. And GG is called as Fnatic put an emphatic stamp on game number 1.
Look, they ruined Armel and Jabs' KDA. Both of them had 0 deaths until that last fight, so Polaris go out with taking the small wins, you know. Games like this are the ones where you just got to find something to kind of smile and laugh about, because after taking that bottom tier 1 tower, I mean, even while taking that bottom tier 1 tower, I don't think Polaris probably felt like the game was in a pretty good place. Like, they probably looked around the map and saw how much Tide, Kunkka, TA were all farming. Usually, like, there's just not enough farm to go around, but Fnatic, the reason they don't defend that tower is because that means they're farming mid, farming top, farming their ancients. And at some point, those 3 heroes just all get their early game items, and they're just like, okay, now try and kill us. Tidehunter was just this unkillable frontline hero that never let that mid tower drop.
And I think that, like, again, it was such a solid 8th pick, I think it was, for them as well in the draft, where it's like you could tell what the plan was. This you know, Natsumi Nature's Prophet, I feel like, has tended to come in the last couple of picks, and this time they just had the perfect answer for it. Do you feel like it really was that Tidehunter that was like the glue that held it all together? Is that, or could that have been any other hero?
It was definitely the perfect pick. Like, it hard counted their lineup, but at the same time, I think Kunkka plus TA already. If they had any kind of just typical tanky offlaner, no one's as tanky as Tide against Nature's Prophet or as good. I think this draft still looks really good for Fnatic, even if that Tide, let's say, gets banned out and they have to pick another offlaner. Tide is better than all the other options, but it was replaceable. This game still, I think, goes Fnatic's way with their draft, even with some other hero.
Well, an impressive draft, an impressive performance. Fnatic staying disciplined. Polaris, they need to go back square one, figure out what they need to do. They've done it before, though. They've come back from tough game number 1s. We'll see if they can do it here. But for now, we're going to go to a quick break.